Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Stephanie, Steph for short, and in this video I am going to be cleaning different areas of my house that I have been trying to get to. If you've watched my previous videos, you will know that these stickers have been the bane of my existence, and in the last video I attempted several methods to get them off. None of them was successful and ended up leaving the sticky residue still on the cabinet. So a few people recommended Goo Gone, which at the time I didn't realise we could get in the UK, but I managed to order some off of Amazon, and we have sprayed it on the cabinet and then put some cling film over that to let it sit while I do some of these dishes. Again, if you've watched the channel before, you will know that I hate doing dishes, and every single time I do a video, I never get through all of the dishes. Now, the plan was to get through all of the dishes on this day. If you watched my live video last week, you will know that I have been struggling with the eczema on my hands, and to the point where, on Wednesday, I could barely move my hands. They were really sore. So this video was recorded on Friday, and so my hands still aren't 100%. So I was trying to limit how much physical cleaning I was doing, because even wearing gloves is still quite painful. So I managed to do these dishes and also clean the Goo Gone stickers. But then that was the limit for my hands on this day. So later in the video, you're going to see me doing some decluttering and tackling my couch, which I've not done in so long. You probably are going to be shocked at how dirty it is, but be kind. So for anybody who is in the UK on the day that this video releases, happy Mother's Day. I know that, well, I don't know specifically, but I think Americans celebrate Mother's Day on a different day, and I'm not sure about Europeans, but if it is Mother's Day for you right now, happy Mother's Day. Hope you're enjoying it. I am very lucky. My kids brought me breakfast in bed. I am still in bed. It's 12:30, but that's because I've been doing some work on my laptop while my husband takes the younger kids to football. And then this afternoon, my family are going to make me a roast dinner, which should be amazing. So yeah, I get a lot of the dishes done. I just don't get the fiddly bits done. And then we're going to move on. And in this video, my teenage daughter Madison she's been pestering me to go through all my old makeup with her so that she could get some, because I don't really wear makeup anymore. And when I did wear it, I didn't wear much of it, but I have a lot of it. So we go through that together. Her face is not on camera. She keeps asking and asking, and I don't want this to become a family YouTube channel, but my kids really do want to get involved. Oh, and there's my phone, 1 second. There we go. That's it muted. Also, if you guys hear any background noise, like I say, I'm sitting in my bedroom and my window's open and my neighbours are arguing. Like, it's so loud. You guys might hear like somebody having a balmy in the street. But yeah, look, this works so effectively. It comes off. I have noticed, like, when the light shines on it or you look on it a certain way, you can kind of see where I've scrubbed it off, but I haven't cleaned the whole cupboard front, so I'm hoping that when I do that, then you're not going to be able to notice that, but it looks a hell of a lot better than it did. And for anybody that hasn't seen previous videos, I will try and link the other video in this description box so you guys can go back and watch that one. So you'll see where I attempted to get the stickers off using oil and mayonnaise, because they were two of the most recommended, as well as just normal hot water. None of them worked. The next, if this Goo Gone hadn't worked, or if I hadn't been able to get it, the next thing I would have tried would have been WD-40. That was recommended a lot, and also just some gentle heat from like a hairdryer or something, but I was a bit dubious about trying heat on the cabinet because it's high gloss and I'm not sure how that would have reacted. Anyway, so as I was saying, I don't want this to become a family channel, but my kids really are pushing to get involved. So in this video, my daughter will be helping me do the makeup, but she won't be on camera. And then when I'm doing the sofa, my younger son, like, he pops in and waves at you guys a couple of times. Excuse me, I've not spoken much today, so my throat's a little tickly. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to talk about in this video, I had mentioned in the last video as well that I wanted to talk more about psychology with you guys because you seem to enjoy it. And I was going to talk about, motivation and Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which, if you don't know what that is, I will get into it, but I'm actually not going to get into it in this video because in the previous video, I mentioned that I subconsciously mimic others. So, like, I will repeat their actions or my voice will change to match their voice. And I noticed I had been watching a lot of Emma over at Getting Tidier on the day that I did my last voiceover. And then, so when I was talking, my voice was taking on like her intonation and I was sounding a little bit like her. And I was like asking if anybody else was like that, subconsciously taking it on. But so somebody had mentioned, oh, it's called mirroring, and that's a difficult word to say, by the way. And there's psychological studies done about it. And when they said that, it made me remember, oh, I have actually learned about that before, but I don't really remember much of it. So I started looking into it because I thought it was really interesting. And so I thought I would talk more about that in this video. And I got another comment, and I'm just going to read the comment out, and it was by Rosalie. And she said, have you ever talked about why some people parrot voices and others don't? So, for example, my partner and I have lived in different areas or countries. Our socioeconomic status has both drastically changed. When I listen to my partner and I speak, I realise both our accents are all over the place. But one of my friends has lived in China/UK/Germany/US, and she sounds very, very American at all times. I've always wondered why her accent is perfect. So I did a little digging and I have looked into this and the whole mirroring and subconsciously like parroting people's actions. And so I thought I would just talk about a little bit about what I found. Now bear with me because this isn't a topic that I'm overly familiar with and I have only just been looking into it for a few days. So I'm kind of going to be looking at my notes while I do this, and I'll keep referring back to the video at some points as well. Okay, so obviously the reason that I'm going to talk about this is because it kind of follows on from the last video. It's not just random. So if you haven't seen the last video, I would suggest going back and watching that first so you kind of know what we're talking about here. Also, so this is the kind of view you get to see of me and my daughter, and we just divide the makeup into categories, and then she decides what she wants to keep and what she wants to get rid of. I'm basically keeping nothing. I really don't wear makeup at all. When I got married, I literally only had on eyeliner, mascara, eyeshadow, and like lip balm or lip gloss. I don't even think I had lipstick because my lips react a lot to lipstick. But yeah, just as I get older, I'm just like, I don't really care. If I'm not even going to wear makeup for my wedding, why would I wear it to, dress up? The only time I really tend to wear makeup is Halloween. Anyway, so while you guys watch us do this, I will crack on with the psychology chat. I'm just going through my notes here, 1 second. Okay, so one theory that I found, and I couldn't really fully look into it because, so with being at university, I get access to a lot of the academic journals and things. However, this particular theory is not in an academic journal. It's actually in a book, and I couldn't get access to the book. I need to request it. I need to request specifically that the library get access to it because it's an online book for me to then get. So I can just kind of give you an overview of what I found. So this is a theory called communication accommodation theory, and it's by Giles and Oge, and it was done in 2007. So I'm just going to read you the bullet points here. So we unconsciously adjust how we speak depending on who we're talking to or who we're influenced by. So we'd kind of already figured that out, guys. But apparently this is called accommodation. And there's two different takes on this. So convergence is when you're getting more similar to talking like other people, and then you've got divergence where you're deliberately staying different. And when we admire somebody, or we want to fit in, or we want to relate to who we're talking to, we're more likely to converge and speak more like them. But if we have a really strong sense of identity and we like being different and, we don't really care that much about fitting in, then we're more likely to diverge and stay different. So that could explain why Rosalie's friend is still got a very strong American accent, because she isn't trying to like converge and fit in wherever she's going. She's just, she's got strong cultural identity. So that could be one reason. But also, it is worth noting that this is unconscious. Most people don't actually notice when they're changing how they speak and things. And don't get me wrong, when I'm doing it, I'm not doing it deliberately. Like it is unconscious, but I also have this awareness of it. And I don't know if that's just because I'm really self-aware, or, because I have anxiety, I'm always like, oh my God, how am I being perceived by these people? And so I think that's maybe, it would be interesting if there was a study done about how people with anxiety or a high sense of like self-awareness, how they like sorry, sometimes I struggle to put my thought process into words, but it would be interesting to do these same studies that I'm going to be talking about, but with people that have anxiety and a high level of self-awareness, to see how they compare. So that was one theory. And then this other kind of theory, or not so much a theory, but like a train of research kind of thing. So one of the main researchers in this is called, and I'm probably butchering all these names by the way, is called Chartrand. And I don't know if they're a male or female, or gender neutral, but they did a study in 1999 with somebody else, and then they did another study in 2003. So we're kind of focusing on these two. And what they looked at is mimicry and empathy. So they basically think that people who are highly empathetic are more likely to mimic others. And also, they say that, everybody kind of naturally mimics other people's speech and body language and tone, even through a screen, which would make sense because, like I say, I was watching another YouTuber and then I was mimicking how they spoke without deliberately doing it, just naturally kind of doing it. And so this is known as the chameleon effect. And apparently it helps to build connection and makes people feel more in sync. And one of the things that they found is that if you have tried to one second, I need to switch over to my notes because the words are not forming. give me a second. Also, that is us finished with the makeup now and moving on to my living room. This is now the next day. I did as much as I was going to do on that day. I had planned to do some other things in this video, but because of my hands I wasn't able to, so this is kind of the last thing I do. I'm going to speed clean the living room, and then because I'm not able to do the damp dusting and the wiping things down, I'm actually going to hoover under the sofa cushions, which that is a whole job in itself and did not take as long as I was expecting. But okay, so I'm just looking at my notes. Okay, so the study in 2003, this was with Chartrand and I want to say Lakin, I'm not sure. Anyway, their study, in case anybody does want to look it up, is called Using Non-Conscious Behavioural Mimicry to Create Affiliation and Rapport. So they basically said that the mimicry is not just automatic, it's motivated by goals. But they wanted to test if people mimic more if they have a desire, even if it is an unconscious desire, to connect with others. So if people, have an affiliation goal, or as the cat theory suggested, a convergence goal where you want to fit in or you want to get on with somebody more, then you're more likely to mimic behaviours. So, but one of the interesting things that they found is that if somebody fails to affiliate initially, so that means if they are trying to they subconsciously mimic somebody because they want to get along with them, they want to make a good impression, they want to become friends or get the job or be picked for the team or anything. If they try the mimicry and it fails, even if they're unaware of this, then when they get another opportunity, the mimicry is going to be even stronger. Now, I think this is interesting because I was really bullied a lot in middle school. So where I grew up, there was a 3-tier system. You had a primary school, a middle school, and then the high school. Now, I was bullied to such an extent in middle school that I actually went to a different high school to what everybody else in my school went to. So in my town, there was 2 high schools, and the middle school that I was at, 95% of the students there went to the other high school. So I deliberately went to the opposite one so that I could get a fresh start away from the people who bullied me. So what I think is, because I was bullied and, you know, Mimicry failed to affiliate me with these people that were bullying me. So like, I didn't really have many friends in middle school. I was bullied a lot. I mean, I didn't have a great home life either. So basically, life sucked. I had no friends. And so I think that maybe when I went to high school, the mimicry was stronger, because I mentioned in the last video, you know, I had a friend called Kelly, and she would roll her eyes a lot and shrug her shoulders. And I mean, even now, I have a friend who, when she gets excited about something, you know, she really like leans forward and gesticulates with her hand. And, you know, when I evaluate how I interact, I do that as well. And I think, you know, is that because I'm mimicking her? That also could just be something people do when they're excited and stuff. But I do find that I mimic people a lot. And I wonder if it's because, you know, in those like critical years of my life, I didn't really have friends and mimicry wasn't successful. So now my mimicry is stronger, if that makes sense. So that's one idea. And then obviously, because they think that people who have higher empathy or like show more of these tendencies because they relate more to people, they want to fit in more with people, that kind of thing, that could also be it. So I mean, I think people would agree that I am a pretty empathetic person, you know, if you just look at the free cleans and stuff that I do. But I'm not very good, you know, at comforting people and expressing that. So maybe the mimicry is like a like unconscious way of doing that, you know, showing people I'm just the same as you, I understand, you know, here I am, like we are the same kind of thing. So I think that's all really interesting, and that's kind of what I found so far on that. But I think it is in like worth saying, you know, it's not the same as copying someone. You're not they're not deliberate actions. Often when people are mimicking somebody, it is subconscious. Also, here is my super gross couch. I don't remember the last time that I did this. And it's interesting to note that we very rarely like allow the children to eat in the living room. So I don't know how so many crumbs get under the sofa. Also, you're going to see me hoover or vacuum the sofa, but I do have a spot cleaner somewhere. I just don't know where it is. I think it's in a big cupboard that we're going to need to tackle together, guys. But for now, we're just hoovering. And it will be better. It won't be perfect, but we'll get back to it eventually. Also, see this little bit I'm picking up in right now? This is like the join of the sofa, and I cannot separate the sofa by myself. I need another person. So I'm just kind of using a pen that I found to like get out as much of the crud as I can. But at some point, we need to move. I think Danielle's going to help me. She's going to come and we're going to, here's Kai peeking his head in, and we're going to move the sofa together because it takes 2 people. I think it's because there's sticky pads on the bottom of the feet, so it's impossible to do yourself. Anyway, we're going to move it, we're going to separate it, we're going to proper clean it and clean under it and behind it, because that sofa's been there about 2 years now and I don't think I've ever moved it to clean behind it. So that will be interesting when we have to do it. But yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed the psychology ramblings. I've not gone into specific details on what the studies actually did, because I'll be honest, I've not fully read the studies myself. I've only kind of read over an overview of the studies, and so I don't want to give any incorrect information. But if people are interested in reading the studies themselves, I mean, I think you do have to pay to get access to like academic materials. But what I was thinking I might do in the future, not anytime soon, probably once I've left university because I'll have more time, but I might start like making PDF summaries of studies that I've read. so that people can then go on and get the information like for free basically. I would need to look into the legalities and stuff of that because I'm really not sure, you know, as long as you credit somebody with their work, then I think that's allowed. But again, I would need to look into it. So as you can see, Xander is not very happy that I am cleaning the sofa because he just likes to lounge around on the sofa all day long, and he can't do that while all the cushions are not on it. So he's just pottering around me like, hurry up, let me get back to my seat. Also, I think I have mentioned this previously, but the reason that I'm not taking the sofa like covers off of the cushions to wash them is because Xander has like scratched all of the cushions to the point that some parts are completely threadbare, and then other parts it's not obvious that they're like damaged, but they are. So I can't really take the covers off to put them in the washing machine because they'll be damaged. Like they'll not be able to go back on the sofa. So we're just kind of rolling with it for now. But I wish that when I'd got this sofa, like we have a lot of blankets and stuff. Oh, excuse me. Sitting in bed doing this is just making me tired. We have a lot of blankets, and I kind of wish that when we first got this sofa that I had covered it all in blankets and covers to protect the cushions, but I could not have predicted that our new puppy was going to destroy the cushions. I mean, when you think of puppy, you think of destruction, so I probably could have predicted it, but I was not that proactive, that's the word. So yeah, also, sorry, you might hear my kids shouting to each other. Yeah, I didn't notice until I was watching this footage back about how full the Hoover is. So at some point we're going to need to clean that, and we might do it together. This is a Dyson V15, I want to say. People ask me, you know, is this a good like Hoover to get? It is, but it is so expensive that like my husband is scared to use it in case he breaks it. That's his excuse anyway. So I would recommend it. The battery life on it is pretty good if you remember to charge it, and obviously it has all the attachments and the laser light and stuff is cool, but for me I don't think it's worth the money. Like I should have got the model that was like below this one, which I think was I want to say the V11, but that could be wrong, because the main benefit of this is that it has a digital screen that tells you like what particles and stuff it's picking up the most of, and I just don't use that at all. Like it's not worth it for me, so I don't think I would have needed the one with the digital screen. I just kind of bought it because I wanted the laser, if I'm completely honest, and I got it on a good sale. But yeah, so if you are thinking about getting a Dyson, I'd probably go for the one below this one if you're not really that bothered about, you know, the digital screen thing that shows you what you're picking up. Because the other one I've heard has great reviews and is a lot cheaper and does the same job. But yeah, I do recommend the Dyson, although I've not really got much to compare it to because I've not really had a Shark. Like I had the Shark handheld Hoover, and that was rubbish. It was so bad. I mainly got it because the only stairs in my house are like the carpeted stairs. Sorry, the only carpet in my house is the stairs and the landing, and then I wanted a handheld one so that I could hoover my car, because my car is in a public car park that's not directly next to my house, so I can't just like plug in a vacuum and then go to the car because it wouldn't reach. So that's why I needed something handheld. Anyway, that is us basically done. We just kind of go over one small, you can kind of see on this seat that I'm hoovering like where the cushion is damaged. So that's just an example of what Xander does. I have to swap the cushions around all the time so he doesn't just damage one, because the cushion I'm about to hoover, like that one there, that's where that one was. This is where he tends to do it the worst, so I just have to keep swapping them out so it doesn't completely rip. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's been a lot of me talking, but in a lot of these videos my family are home, so I think it is going to be easier mostly to do voiceovers. But this is the final tour of the living room, and if you like this kind of content, please like and comment and subscribe, all of that jazz, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!